Hey, what's up, people? Facebook, YouTube, it's Ask Mar Wedge. Sorry it's a little cloudy in here. I just wanted to try to explain to you guys my take on the shoulder roll. I'm giving you guys, from my heart, some of the most exclusive parts of boxing. You know, we hear a lot of things about styles make fights, but we must understand what that actually means, not just meaning you match up people according to their style to get a certain outcome. That's one aspect of it. But another aspect of it is, even in each individual style, you must understand how that is used so that you can completely understand what's going on. And so for upcoming people who want to learn about boxing without getting yourself hurt, just to learn, you know, you can get a pencil and paper. It's just as much to learn about boxing on paper than it is physically. Basically, we're going to talk about the shoulder roll and its different applications. It's the most underestimated or the most misused style in boxing. You know, I know people personally. It breaks my heart when I look at them. And, you know, I'm holding the pads for them, and I'm telling them to put your hands up. And, you know, they don't understand the concept of putting your hands up. And you can see on the side of their face, you know, if they're right-handed, they turn and their left side is exposed. And you can see the bruises on their eye and on the side of their temple where they've been hit, you know, repeatedly. You know, associating that to being a boxer. That's not part of being a boxer. Being hit is hit and not get hit, not hit and get hit. So basically, you know, from my experience of seeing this, it breaks my heart. And just the fact that they don't understand the concept of how to use your hands. Your hands and your feet are totally separate. You know, a lot of people think one has good footwork, but he doesn't have good handwork. Impossible. You know, if you see somebody with good footwork, believe me, they got good hand positioning and they know how to par and block and things like that. So, however, to go on with this, I'm gonna try to stay on point with what I'm trying to talk about, and that's styles make fights. The styles of the shoulder roll. That's it. So, you know, there's three styles that I can come up with right now that I'm thinking of. And I'm going to name some people so that y'all can understand where I'm coming from. The first one I'm going to name is Floyd Mayweather, Senior, because he's the one who was blessed with this concept. I think his son, Junior, may know about it, but he's mostly taught about it. You got people who's taught, and you got people who understand what they're taught. And the people who can train and some people who can fight. That's the difference. I think Floyd Mayweather Sr., his original style embedded in the shoulder roll is what makes him different from other people who claim to do the shoulder roll. Okay? The Floyd Mayweather style of the shoulder roll is of blocking and counter punching. Everybody uses the angle on the shoulder roll. This is called the angle. When you have one side of your body more closer to your opponent than your strong side. And your middle is not exposed. When you're squared up, your middle. Joe Frazier fights in the middle like this. Okay? When you're fighting on an angle, you know, like the Floyd Mayweather or the shoulder roll style, every shoulder roll style has to come from the angle. Every boxing style has to come from the angle. Hit and not get hit has to come from an angle because you have to hide the part that you can get hit. Joe Frazier was not a hit, not get hit. He was a person who would take one to give one. Rocky Marciano, many other names, Gotti, Antonio Gotti. They didn't have to fight off of the angle. However, let's get back. I'm going to try to stay on point, man. I got so much in my mind about boxing, but I'm going to try to stay on point. So, Floyd Mayweather is that first style of the shoulder roll, where he's fighting off of the angle and he's blocking. He's blocking and he's counter-punching, okay? This enables him to be able to be composed and relaxed and do things not many people can do in boxing, because you're able to not have to be so athletically gifted. When you can stop a person's attack, you can always attack them back. You know, you always have opportunity to attack them back. And if you can't hit me, you can't beat me, basically. I was blessed to learn this style also. I believe in this Floyd Mayweather way of doing the shoulder roll because it embeds the safety of boxing. I'm not in the boxing sport to get battered up. I never wanted to get hurt. And I never wanted to hurt anybody, but I want to win. So whatever it takes for me to win, I want to win. And if I got to be harder on myself to win by learning how to defend myself, then and taking that responsibility off of the person who I'm fighting, then that's just what I got to do. I got to work extra hard work, dedication. You know, the number two type of angle, the number two type of shoulder roll that comes to my mind is Georgie Benton. Georgie Benton, a lot of people don't say his name. He's the most underrated fighter, trainer ever. Georgie Benton was excellent in fighting and training, especially fighting, because he had that boxing style, that angle style, that hit and not get hit style, which we call the shoulder roll. A lot of people just say shoulder roll because they don't understand hit and not get hit. They don't understand boxing. So the shoulder roll is the term that we who understand boxing styles use. You have to use that to understand the difference between somebody who boxing like this and somebody who boxing like Joe Frazier. They're both boxing, but one is boxing more defensively. Okay, now from Georgie Benton's style, he's more putting himself in position. He keeps people where they're supposed to be, at arm's length. Georgie Benton was great at keeping his hands in position and keeping his fighter in position in front of him, off of that angle. Now, the difference between him and Floyd can fight close off of his style, and he can fight far away off his style. Georgie Benton needs to keep you where you're supposed to be. If you get too close, it'll get uncomfortable, and if you're too far, he's not going to come and chase you. Okay. Now, the third person I can think of is James Toney. Lights Out James Toney. I can think of several people with him, but when I think about that style from the angle and the shoulder roll style, we always associate it with is people like James Toney. We always say James Toney got the wonderful shoulder roll. Yes, but we got to understand what type he used. He's more of a head movement shoulder roll. And there's a lot of people who use that. You got Rigondaws, you got, I can go on and on, people who move their head. Now, moving your head shoulder roll is keeping your angle, moving your head while every time you don't move your head from one shot. People think it's one shot. You wonder how they're so much ahead of people is because they're already estimating what you want to throw next. Is a prediction. So if I move this way, I already know a right hand is coming next. So I'm going to go under. And I know a left hook is coming from here. So I'm going to draw back. And I know a jab is going to try to come here. So I'm going to set up again. And I'm going to reset myself. And I'm going to try to anticipate what you throw. And I'm going to move 3 moves at a time, 2 moves at a time. Or I'm going to just be 1 step ahead of you. Okay? Mentally. Okay? Now, that's a James Toney. And James Toney's excellent at that. And I'm just using him as an example. There's plenty other fighters who are good at that. Now, the thing is, what most fighters have in common, what people think they don't understand, what most fighters have in common is the shoulder roll, that style. We'll use that word for the lack of better words, but they use box. They say Muhammad Ali can box, Sugar Ray Leonard can box, Floyd Mayweather's a boxer. or runner or whatever you want to call them. Well, this concept is they embedded many of those concepts of boxing all together into their style. Floyd Mayweather, like I said, he uses the blocking, counter-punching technique in his shoulder roll, in his style of boxing, shoulder roll for lack of words. You got Georgie Benton, who actually keeps you in front of him, and he keeps his hands up. He keeps you in front of him, and he's good at using his legs to keep you where you're supposed to be. And then you got James Toney, who can actually stay close to you, and he rolls off his head movement, timing your positioning. Pernell Whitaker, the same way. When they get ready, they can use other aspects of it, but there's no one, that's why I say Floyd Mayweather is the best, because there's no one who I've seen that use all of those elements. There's no one who got good foot movement, good head movement, good blocking, good jab. Jab is part of defense also. Positioning, good positioning. There's no one who uses all of those things together at the right time, consistently. Floyd Mayweather is the closest. And, I just thought I'll share that with everybody because it's something from my heart. You know, my chances of being the best that I could be in boxing is probably over. You know what I mean? Maybe I can train someone. Maybe I'll be able to share what I've been blessed with. But, I don't feel shy in sharing this to everybody. So the next man don't have to go through years of learning like I had to do. You know what I'm saying? This boxing can be taught to you in a couple of years, if less than that. You know what I'm saying? Or it can be misused. Just because you're starting at 10 years old don't mean you're going to learn boxing. Experience mean nothing. That's why you got people like Deontay Wilder. You got people like Joshua, the new heavyweight champion. Joshua, how you say his name? Wow. Well, the brother, he is another example. You got many examples of people starting at an older age, 18 years old, 25 years old, 26 years old, and they do just as good as somebody who started at 10, if not better, because the one who started at 10 has a lot more wear and tear on him, unless he learns styles. He knows and understands the style of his trainer, and he understands his style, and he understands what's going to make him better. And it's not about one-way thinking. Knockouts mean nothing. If I can hit you, I don't care if you can knock me out. I don't care if you got a knife in your hand. I don't care if you got a gun in your hand. If I can touch you, I can beat you. That's my words with love. Peace.